So I wasn't here last week, and Krista filled in for me, and you saw her wonderful videos about Christmas and things going out of order.
And Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, and Ferris Bueller. And I was out of order because I had a death in the family, and it was pretty traumatic, and I had to fly up north, and it was a tough time, but I'm back in the saddle, and here we are.
She's actually back on the desk.
I'm actually back on the desk, yeah. And we decided that we want to talk about anxiety today, because my goodness, anxiety is crippling. And really so many of the things that we talk about our insecurity and about the inability to move along and about the questioning yourself is really all couched in anxiety, isn't it?
Well, all of those things that you just talk about, they actually create anxiety with us. And I think about anxiety as a negative, but there's also positive, like anxiety or excitement. You're going on a roller coaster ride. That's one kind of anxiety. That's not necessarily a bad anxiety. For me, it is too. For me, it is too. Right? Yeah, I don't want anything to do with that. But that's a different kind of anxiety than what we talk about the insecurities, about the judgment, about the getting places on time and doing all the things that need to be done. I told you last night I didn't sleep well.
Tell them why.
So I needed to make a payment for something, and I woke up and I thought about it and thought, just go back to sleep and get up and do it in the morning. Couldn't go back to sleep. Nothing bad was going to happen, but I couldn't shut this off, and the anxiety started keeping me awake and interfered until I got up, did what I needed to do, and then finally went back to bed.
So I'm thinking that when I got the phone call last Sunday night that my nephew died, I got on a plane on Monday morning, and through my head was, well, what about the dogs, and what about the house, and what about the husband, and what about everything? And I didn't go to the supermarket, and I needed to go to the supermarket, and how are they going to eat, and what if I miss my plane, and I'm going to call Uber, and what if Uber doesn't come? Well, I got to the airport, and I was trembling, I was shaking, and I thought, well, you can't have a full-on panic attack now in the airport where there's nobody to hold you and calm you down, so deal with it. But the anxiety was overwhelming.
So here's the one thing. Somebody would have had a service dog for panic attacks that you could have gone to pet. Because now they can go on planes.
Just been some loony, crazy old lady in that airport.
Or I've even seen a little pony service animal now, but that's a whole on an airplane. Okay, so but that's a whole nother story. But that also goes back to that voice that is yours, that incessant chatter in your head. What about the this? What about the that? What about the this? And easier said than done to shut it down. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is your voice.
It is, and one of the tasks before us, if we are to live a happy life, is to learn to quell that voice.
You know, if you had a friend who talked to you like that and wouldn't stop, you would turn to that person and say, could you just take a breath and give me a break for a second? Think about that. I mean, that's what we need to do to take care of ourselves. What do you do when the chatter doesn't stop, when you're feeling overwhelmed, and when things start to spin?
And do you fill it? Do you fill it with bad things? Do you fill it with junk food, especially now that it's Halloween? Do you fill it with alcohol? Do you fill it with things?
Do you try to stuff it down, or find a way to manage it? Let us know, because if you've got the secret, we want the special sauce.
Anxiety's a rough one.
Yeah. See you soon.